Stoicism is a school of philosophy founded by Zeno around the 3rd century BCE in Greece. It emphasizes living in harmony with nature and cultivating inner tranquility by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. In the modern context, this mindset offers a path to freedom and peace, especially when dealing with negative influences from the environment, including manipulators and those who bring no positive value. Stoicism teaches us to focus on factors within our control, such as our thoughts, actions, and reactions, rather than being concerned with external factors like the behavior of others. This is particularly crucial when confronting individuals who may manipulate our emotions and psychology. One of Stoicism's key principles is to be discerning about whom we choose to help. Epictetus once said, "You cannot help someone change unless they are willing to do so." This means that investing time and energy in those unwilling to change is futile. Instead, we should clearly identify who is truly deserving of our support and who is not. So why should you know whom to help? In life, we often feel compelled to help others with all our heart and effort. This stems from our inherent goodness and the desire to make a positive difference in someone's life. However, according to Stoic philosophy, not every act of assistance yields positive results. Sometimes, helping the wrong person can not only waste our time and energy but also harm our mental well-being and personal values. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of understanding our limits, focusing on what lies within our control, and letting go of what doesn't belong to us. When we offer help impulsively or allow emotions to dictate our actions, we risk losing inner balance and weakening our ability to live according to our values. To live more wisely and protect our precious energy, it is crucial to discern who truly deserves our support. This article will not only help you identify 8 types of people you should reconsider helping but also offer practical guidance based on Stoic principles, so you can maintain peace of mind and focus on what truly matters. When applying Stoic thinking, we can analyze the different types of people we encounter in life through the lens of Stoicism. Below are 8 common types of individuals. 1. Energy vampires. These individuals not only drain your energy but often exploit your kindness to strengthen their position in a cycle of selfishness and negativity. They come to you not seeking solutions or change but rather to gain attention and sympathy. They typically share prolonged complaints, recounting injustices and hardships they endure, leaving you feeling both sympathetic and trapped in an unhealthy relationship. It's important to note that these people often act out of a self-serving instinct. They are not looking for transformation but rather maintain the role of a victim to avoid taking responsibility for their life issues. By instilling guilt, they make you feel obligated to help, even though they have no intention of addressing their problems independently. From a Stoic perspective, this behavior exemplifies selfishness, focusing entirely on taking without any intention of giving back. This not only harms you but also reinforces their dependent and irresponsible lifestyle. They consume your time and energy, weakening your ability to focus on personal goals and maintain inner peace. To deal with such energy vampires, it is crucial to set clear boundaries and prioritize protecting your own values, rather than allowing them to manipulate your emotions and sense of duty. Signs of energy vampires. 1. Constant complaining. They incessantly share negative stories, complaining about all aspects of life, work, finances, and personal relationships. Not only do they repeatedly voice the same grievances, but they also plant a sense of guilt in the listener. Whenever you try to offer suggestions or help them find solutions, they dismiss your efforts, claiming that change is impossible, perpetuating an endless loop of complaints. 2. No intent to improve. Even when you provide sincere and practical advice, they fail to take any action toward change, rather than proactively addressing their problems. They often resort to excuses or blame external circumstances, rendering your attempts to help futile. This reflects a mindset rooted in selfishness. They seek attention and sympathy without a genuine desire to take responsibility or make an effort to improve their situation. 3. Inducing guilt. They make you believe that you are somehow responsible for their peace or happiness, which ultimately drains your mental and emotional energy. Using subtle manipulation. They impose guilt by saying things like, "No one understands or helps me except you," or "I thought you wouldn't abandon me." These tactics not only burden you but also cloud your judgment, making it difficult to recognize when it's time to stop. Remember, your responsibility is not to ensure their progress but to protect your own inner peace and personal values. How these individuals negatively impact you. 1. Mental exhaustion. Conversations with them are not only emotionally draining but also mentally disruptive, making it difficult for you to maintain the focus needed to handle other important tasks. Their constant flow of negative stories creates a gloomy atmosphere that makes it hard to sustain optimism. Over time, you may find yourself feeling not only mentally fatigued but also losing faith in your ability to make a positive difference in the lives of others. This exhaustion doesn't just affect your mental well-being, it also weakens your willpower and motivation. 2. Depleted energy. These people drain not only your emotional energy but also leave you feeling empty, tired, and out of balance. They frequently drag you into negative conversations or situations that demand continuous attention, making it hard for you to stay focused on your work or personal goals. When you expend energy addressing their issues without any reciprocation, you may find yourself losing control and unable to manage other important responsibilities in your life. Over time, this can lead to reduced productivity, the breakdown of healthy relationships, and significant damage to your mental health. 3. Loss of valuable time. Negative individuals not only drain your energy but also consume your valuable time, time that could otherwise be used to build meaningful relationships and foster personal growth. Every minute you spend on them is a missed opportunity to invest in yourself or in people who truly bring positive value to your life. Their continuous negativity traps you in an endless loop of unresolved stories, blurring your ability to recognize and prioritize what truly matters in life. Applying Stoic thinking to handle energy vampires. 1. Self-reflection. Ask yourself, does helping this person truly create lasting value? Or is it merely a temporary response to their immediate emotional needs? Will they take responsibility and change after receiving my support? Or will they continue to depend on me, repeating the same cycle of problems? Am I encouraging their growth, or unintentionally enabling their stagnation? This kind of introspection helps you assess whether your efforts are genuinely meaningful or simply feeding a cycle of dependency. 2. Maintain clear boundaries. Define your limits to ensure your energy is directed toward meaningful goals and people who deserve your support. Focus on what is within your control. If you encounter negative influences that you cannot change, take them as lessons and let go. Saying no to those who disrupt your peace of mind and maintaining relationships that foster tranquility are proactive steps in preserving your well-being. 3. Learn to say no. Master the art of saying no, not only through words but also through actions. This means politely yet firmly declining requests and consistently maintaining your boundaries in all situations. Saying no is not selfish, it's a way to protect your energy, time, and mental clarity from harmful relationships or situations. When you say no, convey sincerity, but do not yield to persuasion or emotional pressure. Remember, saying no to what's wrong is saying yes to what truly matters. Illustrative story. John, an office worker, often found himself caught up in the negative stories of his colleague, Mike. Mike constantly complained about work, life, and everything else. turning every conversation into an endless loop of unsolvable problems. Despite John's efforts to help Mike see things differently by offering practical solutions and encouraging positive thinking, Mike continued to cling to his victim role and rejected all advice. Over time, John began to feel drained, not just mentally but also physically, as the conversations with Mike sapped his energy. By adopting Stoic thinking, John realized that continuing to support Mike was not only futile but also detrimental to his work performance and inner balance. Eventually, John decided to set clear boundaries by refusing to engage in unhealthy conversations and focusing more on relationships that brought positive value. This change helped him restore his inner peace, improve his productivity, and enhance his mental well-being. Not everyone deserves your valuable energy and time. In life, there are people who seek only to exploit kindness, draining your energy and time without offering any value in return. Therefore, be wise in choosing your relationships. Invest in those who not only walk alongside you but are also willing to give back, creating balance in the relationship. At the same time, learning to protect yourself from negative relationships helps you maintain inner peace and stay focused on your goals and the people who truly matter in your life. Type 2. The unwilling to help themselves. There are people who do not genuinely seek change or support but instead crave attention or sympathy to reinforce their victim mentality. These individuals live in a cycle of negativity, where they not only refuse to improve their circumstances but also maintain stagnation as a way to avoid confronting personal responsibility. Whenever you offer advice or assistance, they respond with excuses or blame external factors rather than taking action. They constantly seek your empathy without any genuine intention of self-improvement. This behavior reflects an avoidance mindset, a psychological defense mechanism aimed at preserving a familiar state, even when it brings neither happiness nor progress. This can leave you emotionally drained and may even lead you to question the value of your help. These individuals tend to justify their inaction, portray themselves as perpetual victims to gain sympathy, and repeat the same problems without making any real progress. Key behaviors of the unwilling to help themselves. 1. Constant justification. When you offer solutions, they quickly come up with reasons why they can't implement them, often citing unconvincing obstacles. They bring up imagined barriers such as a lack of resources, insufficient time, or claims that it's too difficult, masking their hesitation and avoidance of responsibility. These excuses are not genuine obstacles but reflect anxiety or a lack of determination to face change. Their justifications not only delay action but also perpetuate negativity, draining your energy as you attempt to help. 2. Seeking sympathy. They skillfully portray themselves as victims by recounting emotional stories and emphasizing their personal struggles. These stories are often exaggerated or selectively presented to elicit compassion from you. However, their goal is not to improve their situation but to maintain their victim status, which allows them to avoid accountability. This behavior not only leaves you emotionally drained but also puts you in a position where you unknowingly enable their dependency. 3. Repetition of problems. They repeatedly bring up the same issues without showing any progress, despite the numerous pieces of advice or practical support you've provided. This doesn't just frustrate you, it also diminishes your confidence in your ability to effect positive change in their lives. These behaviors trap you in a negative loop, where your energy and time are wasted. When you realize that they have no intention of changing but instead aim to maintain their current state to exert psychological pressure, it's time to set clear boundaries and ask yourself, is this bringing any real value? Or is it merely draining my energy? How these individuals negatively impact you. 1. Loss of time and energy. You invest time, effort, and genuine care in helping them, Yet all your efforts seem to be swallowed by an endless void. These individuals not only fail to receive your support but also turn it into a negative cycle, prolonging their issues rather than resolving them. Every minute spent on them is a lost opportunity, a chance you could have used to invest in yourself or in relationships that bring real value. The sense of futility and frustration from these wasted efforts drains your energy and leaves you feeling directionless, unable to focus on more important priorities in life. 2. Feeling of helplessness. When you constantly face their refusal to change, you not only feel frustrated but may also begin to doubt yourself. You might question whether your efforts have any real impact or if you're inadvertently contributing to the negative cycle they deliberately maintain. This sense of helplessness erodes your confidence in your ability to help others and takes a toll on your mental well-being, leaving you exhausted and demotivated. Over time, this state can lead to a gradual loss of willpower and even diminish your belief in the value of helping others altogether. 3. Erosion of self-confidence. When you repeatedly encounter futile efforts, you not only risk doubting your ability to help but also feel conflicted about your personal values. You start to question, am I truly helping? Or am I just enabling their current state? This recurring cycle of doubt gradually chips away at your self-confidence, leading to unnecessary uncertainty about your worth and role in supporting others. The more time you spend in these situations, the greater the risk of losing faith and motivation to assist those who genuinely deserve your help. Applying Stoic thinking to handle the unwilling to help themselves. 1. Clear identification. Ask yourself, does this person truly want to change and is ready to take action? Or are they simply maintaining a victim mindset to gain sympathy and avoid responsibility? Recognizing their true intent helps you decide whether your efforts will be meaningful or wasted. 2. Let go of unnecessary responsibility. According to Stoic philosophy, you should focus only on what lies within your control. If someone is unwilling to accept change or take voluntary action, no matter how much effort you put in, the outcome will be futile. Remember, your primary responsibility is not to change others but to protect your energy and personal values. Letting go of responsibilities that aren't yours not only preserves your inner peace but also encourages others to take ownership of their lives and make changes on their own terms. 3. Establish firm boundaries. Boundaries are not merely a defensive measure to protect yourself, they are a declaration of mutual respect between you and others. By setting boundaries, you not only safeguard your time and energy but also push others to take responsibility for their actions. Prioritize relationships that bring real value and distance yourself from those that drag you into negative cycles. Boundaries are not selfish, they are a way to maintain your peace of mind and ensure that you live a life that is meaningful and worth respecting. Type 3. The critics. Critics are those who constantly seek to undermine you, dismissing your efforts and achievements regardless of how hard you've worked. They can appear in any relationship, friends, colleagues, or even family members. Their behavior often stems from jealousy, unspoken fears, or deep-seated insecurities. These individuals use words and attitudes to diminish your value, making you doubt your abilities and feel stuck in your path forward. They never stop looking for flaws in your successes, no matter how trivial, to criticize you, thereby eroding your confidence and reducing your motivation to keep striving. Signs of the critics. 1. Non-constructive criticism. Their negative remarks are rarely aimed at helping you improve or grow. Instead, they stem from ignorance, jealousy, or a desire to dominate. They not only refuse to offer specific suggestions to help you progress but also create an environment where you feel judged rather than supported. This behavior diminishes the value of your efforts and causes you to doubt your ability to overcome challenges. 2. Undermining your achievements. They seek to devalue your accomplishments, making you feel that what you've achieved is either insufficient or undeserving of recognition. They often compare you to others, highlighting areas where they believe you fall short, overshadowing your hard work and success. This not only damages your self-esteem but also fosters a sense of helplessness, causing you to question your worth and lose motivation to strive further. 3. Making you doubt yourself. They constantly plant seeds of doubt about your abilities and worth, using demeaning remarks to directly impact your self-esteem. Statements like, "You're not good enough," or "That's beyond your capability," not only create anxiety but also instill deep insecurities about your competence. From a psychological perspective, this behavior often arises from a desire to control or diminish others' confidence to feel superior. The continuous repetition of such comments can erode your decision-making ability and lead to prolonged self-doubt. Negative impacts of critics on you. 1. Erosion of self-confidence. Continuous criticism from these individuals can wear down your psychological defenses, causing you to not only doubt your abilities but also fear facing new challenges. Psychological research suggests that critics often use negative language to lead you into a state of self-doubt, making you second-guess every decision and delay taking important actions. This erosion can result in lost motivation, setting trivial goals, or avoiding valuable opportunities altogether. 2. Psychological distress. Constant exposure to critical individuals can have severe psychological consequences. You may feel trapped in a negative cycle where all your efforts are dismissed. The anxiety of trying to avoid relentless criticism drains your inherent confidence. Studies show that frequent exposure to negative energy increases the risk of chronic stress, leading to feelings of helplessness and even depression. This doesn't only affect your mental well-being but also diminishes your creativity and decision-making ability. 3. Derailing your goals. Spending excessive time explaining or proving yourself to those who constantly criticize diverts your attention from your true goals. It depletes the energy and mental clarity needed to progress. Psychological experts indicate that divided focus caused by dealing with criticism significantly reduces work efficiency and creative potential. Critics drag you into a cycle of proving your worth, making you lose sight of why you started your journey in the first place. Ask yourself, am I doing this to achieve my goals, or merely to please them? Applying Stoic thinking to handle critics. 1. Focus on your own value. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Reputation is not yours, it belongs to what others think." This reminder helps us understand that our true worth isn't determined by how others perceive us but by what we know about ourselves. Take time to reflect on your achievements and qualities, regardless of others' opinions. Don't let negative remarks shake your inherent confidence. Instead, focus on self-improvement, because only you truly know your value. 2. Let go of their influence. Epictetus advised that we should focus only on what is within our control, as trying to change how others think or feel is not only futile but also mentally draining. Remember, while you cannot control the thoughts or actions of others, you can fully control how you respond to them. Rather than allowing their criticisms or negative actions to disrupt your inner peace, focus on the values, goals, and actions that truly matter to you. This approach not only helps you maintain clarity and focus but also reinforces your control over your own life. 3. Establish boundaries. Boundaries are not just a defense against negative influences but a declaration of your right to control your mental space. Clearly distinguish between feedback that is worth considering and meaningless criticism. Ignoring non-constructive remarks isn't a sign of weakness or avoidance, It's a way to direct your focus and energy toward what truly matters. Strong boundaries help you maintain confidence, stay focused on your goals, and prevent negative influences from eroding your motivation. Illustrative story. Anna was a talented young artist, but she constantly faced harsh criticism from her close friend Julie. Julie often remarked that Anna's paintings were not good enough or too simplistic, yet never offered any constructive suggestions for improvement. This left Anna feeling not only hurt but also gradually losing confidence in herself. She began to question whether she was truly suited for a career in art. After struggling with feelings of insecurity for some time, Anna decided to explore Stoic thinking. Through her study, she realized that Julie's criticism didn't reflect her actual abilities but instead stemmed from Julie's own insecurities and jealousy. Stoic philosophy helped Anna understand that her true worth didn't depend on how others viewed her but on her efforts and the journey she was committed to pursuing. Anna chose to establish healthy boundaries by distancing herself from Julie and shifting her focus to improving her skills. She sought constructive feedback from those who genuinely supported her and recognized her value. This not only restored Anna's confidence but also made her feel stronger in protecting her dreams and continuing her artistic path. No one can please everyone, and trying to convince those who constantly criticize you is often a futile effort. Instead, focus on your own value and cultivate relationships that provide support and inspiration. Don't let negative remarks derail you from your path. Stay true to your journey and keep progressing toward your goals. Type 4. The self-piters. The self-piters often live in a cycle of suffering and pessimism. Unlike energy vampires, they don't actively drain your energy by making demands but instead use their victim role to attract sympathy. They aren't genuinely seeking real solutions, rather, they focus on affirming the unfairness or misfortune they believe they've endured. This group frequently constructs a recurring story to justify their situation and draw attention, pulling you into their negative loop. The key difference here is that they don't necessarily drain your energy through specific requests but by triggering your sense of pity and prompting you to engage in their emotional crisis. Characteristics of the self-piters. 1. Constant complaining. They incessantly talk about the difficulties they believe they are burdened with but never express a genuine desire to find solutions. They view their problems as evidence of life's unfairness and show no intention of escaping their situation. This attitude creates a significant psychological impact, dragging those around them into a negative cycle and emotionally draining them. 2. Rejecting advice. They don't just listen and reject advice, they often provide complex or even irrational reasons to defend their current state. This behavior typically stems from a fear of change or a comfort found in their victim role, where they feel safe and receive attention, no matter how feasible or reasonable your suggestions are. They will find a way to dismiss them, reinforcing their identity as someone helpless. This leaves you feeling powerless and emotionally exhausted. 3. Seeking attention. They often craft emotionally charged personal stories to garner sympathy but have no real intention of changing. Their stories tend to follow a repetitive cycle, reinforcing their victim role. This behavior not only drains your emotional energy but also makes you feel responsible for solving their problems. However, they don't actually want solutions, they want to maintain their current state to keep receiving attention. How the self-piters negatively impact you. 1. Emotional exhaustion. Conversations with them often drag on and revolve around negative issues, leaving you feeling drained and off balance. With reduced capacity to recover your mental energy, they repeatedly share the same stories, emphasizing perceived injustices or personal tragedies, making you feel responsible for solving their problems. This repetitive cycle doesn't just sap your energy but also leads to prolonged fatigue, sometimes resulting in feelings of frustration and even a loss of faith in your ability to help others. 2. Sense of helplessness. When your efforts to help yield no results, you may start to feel as though you were mistaken in believing you could make a positive difference. This sense of helplessness brings disappointment and can trigger deep self-doubt about your worth and motivation to continue helping others. Psychological studies suggest that this state of helplessness can lead to emotional burnout, gradually eroding your belief in your capacity to create positive change in your environment. 3. Disruption of personal goals. When you invest too much time and energy in solving other people's problems, you risk neglecting your own goals and priorities. This not only diminishes your motivation but also hampers your ability to make clear and creative decisions. Psychological experts note that the distraction caused by focusing on issues beyond your responsibility can disrupt your personal progress, potentially causing delays in achieving long-term goals. Remember, your personal value and motivation to keep moving forward should always take precedence. How to deal with the self-piters. 1. Clear identification. Ask yourself, do they genuinely want to overcome their difficulties? Or are they merely maintaining the victim role to avoid personal responsibility? Those who truly seek change are proactive in finding solutions and open to practical advice. In contrast, those who cling to the victim role often repeat the same stories to reinforce the idea that their situation is unchangeable, seeking sympathy without any intention to act. Recognizing this distinction is the first step in protecting your energy and avoiding being pulled into their negative cycle. 2. Set emotional boundaries. Seneca once said, "It is not what happens that disturbs you, but how you react to it." This advice highlights that while you cannot control the actions or emotions of others, you can control how you respond. Don't allow their negative emotions to become a mental burden for you. Instead, establish clear boundaries by refusing to engage in stories or situations that lack positive value. Doing so helps you maintain inner peace and reinforces your control over your emotions and mind. 3. Let go of responsibilities that aren't yours. Help is only effective when there is a willingness to cooperate. Once you realize that the other person is not ready to change, any further effort on your part may be wasted. Stoic philosophy advises us to focus on what lies within our control and let go of responsibilities that do not belong to us. Remember, protecting your energy and mental well-being is a legitimate right that allows you to preserve inner peace and stay focused on what truly matters. James was a colleague of Lisa, and he constantly complained about difficulties in both work and personal life. His stories always revolved around how everything was unfair, how he was always the one at a disadvantage, and how nothing could be done to change his situation. Although Lisa initially tried to listen empathetically and offer practical advice, James would always dismiss her suggestions with excuses like, "It's too complicated," or "I'm not capable." Over time, Lisa realized that James didn't genuinely want to change but preferred to maintain his victim role to attract attention and sympathy from others. After numerous frustrating encounters, Lisa began feeling emotionally and physically drained. Thanks to Stoic thinking, she realized that she was not responsible for solving James's problems, especially since he wasn't willing to take action himself. Lisa decided to establish clear boundaries by reducing the time spent in conversations with James and focusing more on her work and personal goals. This decision not only helped Lisa maintain balance and inner peace but also made her understand that helping others requires their cooperation. Without a mutual willingness to improve, any effort becomes a drain rather than a meaningful contribution. Helping others is a noble act, but it only holds value when the other person is willing to accept support and take steps toward change. For those who resist change and cling to their victim role, Maintaining a healthy distance is essential to protect your energy and inner peace. Remember, you cannot save someone who refuses to help themselves. People who habitually play the victim often engage in subtle manipulative behaviors. While their actions may not seem overtly harmful, they can have long-term negative effects on your mental and emotional well-being. Common behaviors include 1. Emotional manipulation. They trigger your sense of compassion by repeatedly sharing personal stories of suffering, creating a sense of obligation to help. 2. Dismissal of solutions. They consistently reject practical solutions, offering excuses that reinforce their helplessness, making it difficult for you to feel that your efforts are making any difference. 3. Creating dependence. By refusing to take action on their own, they foster a relationship where you feel responsible for their well-being, keeping you emotionally tied to their problems. Negative impacts on the helper. 1. Emotional fatigue. Engaging repeatedly with someone who refuses to improve drains your emotional energy. This can lead to burnout, where you feel exhausted and lose motivation to support others genuinely in need. 2. Loss of focus. Time and energy spent dealing with their issues can distract you from your personal goals, affecting your progress and productivity in other areas of life. 3. Erosion of self-confidence. Constantly facing rejected solutions and lack of progress can make you doubt your ability to help others, causing a gradual loss of confidence in your judgment and problem-solving skills. Applying Stoic thinking to deal with manipulation. 1. Set clear boundaries. Recognize when your involvement is no longer productive and establish limits to protect your mental space. Politely but firmly communicate when you are unwilling to engage in conversations that do not lead to positive outcomes. 2. Detach emotionally. As Epictetus advised, focus on what is within your control, your actions and responses. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control how much influence they have over your emotions. Detaching emotionally doesn't mean you don't care, it means you prioritize your peace and well-being. 3. Prioritize meaningful relationships. Invest your time and energy in people who value your support and are willing to grow. By focusing on mutually supportive relationships, you ensure that your efforts contribute to meaningful progress, both for yourself and those around you. Refine story illustration with strategies. Lisa's experience with James serves as a clear example of the emotional toll caused by someone who perpetually plays the victim. Here are specific strategies Lisa used, which readers can apply in similar situations. 1. Recognizing manipulation. Lisa noticed that despite her genuine efforts, James consistently rejected her advice and showed no willingness to change. She identified this as a pattern of emotional manipulation aimed at maintaining his victim status. 2. Setting boundaries. Lisa reduced the time spent in conversations with James and redirected her focus toward her work and personal goals. This allowed her to preserve her energy and maintain a sense of inner peace. 3. Refocusing on productive relationships. Instead of investing energy in futile efforts, Lisa chose to nurture relationships where her support was valued and reciprocated. By applying these strategies, Lisa not only protected her mental well-being but also regained her confidence and clarity in supporting those who truly sought her help. Five. The manipulators. Manipulators are not merely individuals who drain your energy or induce feelings of helplessness, they are masters at controlling the emotions, behaviors, and decisions of others for their own benefit. They do not hesitate to employ sophisticated tactics such as fake compliments, blame shifting, or guilt tripping to control you. Their ultimate goal is not to build genuine relationships but to exploit you for personal gain without genuine consent. Signs of the manipulators. 1. Using guilt. Manipulators often make you feel guilty when you refuse or disagree with them. They might say things like, "I've sacrificed so much for you. And this is how you treat me." This induced guilt causes you to act not out of genuine desire but due to an invisible pressure they create. Over time, this doesn't just make you feel guilty, it gradually undermines your self-confidence. 2. Making vague requests. Instead of clearly stating what they want, manipulators often use vague or indirect language, leaving you guessing. They might say things like, "I don't want to bother you, but if you could help me a little." This makes it hard for you to refuse, as you don't want to disappoint them or come across as uncaring. The ambiguity forces you into a situation where declining feels awkward or uncomfortable. 3. Undermining your confidence. Manipulators sow doubt about your abilities, making you feel inadequate, incapable, or unsure about your decisions. This leads you to seek their guidance or approval to feel secure. By instilling insecurity, they maintain control over you, ensuring that you remain dependent on their influence. Negative impacts on you. 1. Loss of autonomy. Manipulators gradually strip you of your ability to make decisions in your own life. Your choices and actions are no longer driven by your desires but are influenced by their will. You may feel compelled to act according to what they want, not because it aligns with your own intentions, but because of the subtle pressure they exert. 2. Erosion of self-esteem. Constant manipulation leads to self-doubt, making you question your ability to make sound decisions and slowly eroding your confidence. You may start to feel as though you are always wrong or inadequate when compared to the standards they impose, which diminishes your sense of self-worth over time. 3. Increased stress. The vague demands and the constant feeling of being unable to satisfy the manipulator create tension, anxiety, and imbalance in your life. The need to constantly guess their intentions, not knowing what to do or how to meet their expectations, leaves you feeling exhausted and stressed. This perpetual state of uncertainty can significantly impact your mental well-being and overall quality of life. To handle manipulators. 1. Identify their true motives. As Epictetus said, "The wise are not deceived by appearances but seek the truth." Ask yourself, what do they truly want from me? Clearly identifying the manipulator's motives helps you avoid falling into the emotional traps they create. Once you understand their real intentions, you can detach yourself from their manipulative games and regain control over your actions. 2. Establish clear boundaries. Marcus Aurelius emphasized, "Protecting the mind from chaos is the key to maintaining inner peace." Once you recognize manipulative behavior, setting clear boundaries becomes essential. Calmly and firmly refuse unreasonable demands. This not only helps protect yourself but also demonstrates respect for yourself and others. Boundaries serve as a powerful tool in maintaining control over your own life. 3. Avoid emotional reactions. Manipulators excel at provoking emotional responses. When you react emotionally, you give them the opportunity to control you. Instead of responding impulsively, pause, take a deep breath, and analyze the situation rationally. Stay calm and act according to your values, ensuring that your decisions are guided by reason, not emotion. 4. Focus on what you can control. Always remember that you can only control your own actions and responses, not the manipulator's behavior. Let go of the need to change them and focus instead on preserving your dignity and freedom. When you shift your attention to what is within your control, you will experience a greater sense of peace and balance. Illustrative story. David was a talented project manager, but he constantly felt pressured by a colleague named Sarah. Sarah often used insincere compliments to persuade David to take on additional tasks on her behalf. And whenever he refused, she quickly switched to blame tactics, making David feel like he lacked team spirit. Over time, David realized that Sarah didn't genuinely need help, she was simply exploiting his dedication. Thanks to Stoic thinking, David learned to identify Sarah's manipulative strategies. He began setting clear boundaries and rejecting unreasonable requests. One day, when Sarah asked him to work overtime without offering any valid reason, David calmly declined, stating that he had personal plans. Sarah tried to guilt-trip him, but David refrained from reacting emotionally and firmly maintained his stance. He discovered that rejecting manipulative demands not only reduced his stress but also earned him respect from the entire team. Identifying and dealing with manipulators requires alertness and determination. You are not obligated to fulfill every request, especially when it does not bring genuine value. Focus on protecting your energy and upholding your values, because only by maintaining control over yourself can you lead a balanced and meaningful life. Six. The saboteurs. Saboteurs don't always directly harm you, but their actions and attitudes often subtly disrupt or undermine your efforts. They may appear to be on your side, yet, in reality, they quietly weaken your goals or sabotage what you are working hard to build. These behaviors typically stem from jealousy, fear, or a desire to keep you in a lower position. Signs of the saboteurs. 1. Pretending to support. Saboteurs pretend to be supportive, but their advice or actions often lead to negative outcomes. For example, they may encourage you to take unreasonable steps or actions that don't align with your goals. 2. Subtle criticism. Instead of openly criticizing you, they make seemingly neutral comments that undermine your confidence. Phrases like, "I don't think you're capable, but go ahead and try," are classic examples. 3. Spreading misinformation. They may spread false or exaggerated information about you to others, damaging your reputation and relationships. 4. Covert sabotage. They indirectly undermine your efforts by delaying tasks, refusing to cooperate, or causing disruptions within the team, weakening your progress without overtly opposing you. Illustrative story. Rachel was a dedicated employee who always worked hard to achieve her goals. However, her colleague Mark frequently gave inappropriate advice or delayed important tasks they were working on together. Mark also spread inaccurate information about Rachel, making it difficult for her to maintain good relationships with other colleagues. Initially, Rachel tried to persuade Mark to change, but all her efforts failed. Thanks to Stoic thinking, Rachel learned to focus on what she could control. She set clear boundaries with Mark, reported his inappropriate behavior, and sought support from trustworthy colleagues. This approach allowed Rachel to maintain her work performance and protect her reputation, despite Mark's continued attempts to sabotage her efforts. Saboteurs can appear in various relationships, from professional to personal ones. The key is to identify their behavior early and develop appropriate strategies to protect yourself. Remember, your value does not depend on their recognition but lies in your steadfast commitment to your goals and values. Six. The saboteurs. Saboteurs don't always directly harm you, but their actions and attitudes often subtly disrupt or undermine your efforts. They may appear to be on your side, yet, in reality, they quietly weaken your goals or sabotage what you are working hard to build. These behaviors typically stem from jealousy, fear, or a desire to keep you in a lower position. Signs of the saboteurs. 1. Pretending to support. Saboteurs pretend to be supportive, but their advice or actions often lead to negative outcomes. For example, they may encourage you to take unreasonable steps or actions that don't align with your goals. 2. Subtle criticism. Instead of openly criticizing you, they make seemingly neutral comments that undermine your confidence. Phrases like, "I don't think you're capable, but go ahead and try," are classic examples. 3. Spreading misinformation. They may spread false or exaggerated information about you to others, damaging your reputation and relationships. 4. Covert sabotage. They indirectly undermine your efforts by delaying tasks, refusing to cooperate, or causing disruptions within the team, weakening your progress without overtly opposing you. When you are constantly undermined, your trust in your own abilities and judgment gradually erodes. You begin to doubt whether your decisions are correct, which weakens your confidence and motivation. Additionally, their negative actions severely hinder your progress, leading to delays, mistakes, and poor performance. Moreover, saboteurs create rifts in trust between you and others, causing unnecessary conflicts or misunderstandings, which make your work environment or relationships tense. This continuous sabotage also increases psychological pressure, leaving you feeling anxious, fatigued, and unable to concentrate on more important aspects of your life. Epictetus reminds us that while we cannot control the behavior of others, we can fully control how we respond. Instead of being drawn into negative actions, focus on what you can do to protect your goals and values. Marcus Aurelius also advises that your worth does not depend on others' recognition. So do not let sabotaging behaviors shake your confidence in yourself. Always remember that these actions reflect their character, not your true value. Finally, establish clear boundaries by refusing to cooperate or minimizing interactions with those who exhibit sabotaging behavior. This approach not only helps you protect your personal energy but also allows you to maintain focus and efficiency in both your work and personal life. Rachel was a dedicated employee who always worked hard to achieve her goals. However, her colleague Mark frequently gave inappropriate advice or delayed important tasks they were working on together. Mark also spread inaccurate information about Rachel, making it difficult for her to maintain good relationships with other colleagues. Initially, Rachel tried to persuade Mark to change, but all her efforts failed. Thanks to Stoic thinking, Rachel learned to focus on what she could control. She set clear boundaries with Mark, reported his inappropriate behavior, and sought support from trustworthy colleagues. This approach allowed Rachel to maintain her work performance and protect her reputation, despite Mark's continued attempts to sabotage her efforts. Saboteurs can appear in various relationships, from professional to personal ones. The key is to identify their behavior early and develop appropriate strategies to protect yourself. Remember, your value does not depend on their recognition but lies in your steadfast commitment to your goals and values. Seven. The dream killers. Dream killers are not necessarily ill-intentioned, but their actions and words often undermine your belief and motivation. They can be friends, family members, or colleagues who don't believe your dreams are realistic, and they don't hesitate to express their doubts. More importantly, their criticism often stems from fear, past failures, or conservative viewpoints, which causes them to unintentionally impose their own limitations on you. Dream killers often weaken your spirit by focusing on risks, downplaying your abilities, and making negative remarks. They tend to emphasize difficulties, leading you to feel that pursuing your dreams is either too risky or unrealistic. Typical phrases like, "this is not feasible," or "stop dreaming," erode your self-belief. They frequently compare you to past failures, implying that you are likely to follow the same path. Their constant focus on negative aspects heightens the fear of failure and discourages you from taking action. Instead of recognizing your efforts, they highlight your weaknesses or obstacles, which diminishes your motivation and self-confidence. Over time, their pessimism can stifle personal growth, making you hesitant to accept challenges or explore your true potential. By fixating on what might go wrong, they create the perception that chasing dreams is overly risky. Remarks such as, "this isn't practical," or "don't get your hopes up," are characteristic of their behavior. These individuals make you feel as though you are not skilled enough, talented enough, or fortunate enough to achieve your goals, ultimately causing you to lose faith in yourself. The words and actions of the dream killers can have profound consequences on your mindset and potential for growth. First, they undermine your confidence by planting seeds of doubt and focusing on risks, making you feel that your dreams are unrealistic or unattainable. This leads to anxiety and increased fear of failure, causing hesitation when it comes to making decisions or taking actions to move closer to your goals. Moreover, their persistent negativity gradually diminishes your motivation. When you are repeatedly exposed to discouraging remarks, it's easy to lose enthusiasm and faith in the value of your efforts. Over time, they can stifle your personal growth, making you reluctant to accept new challenges or explore your true potential. The combined effect of these factors can derail your journey toward achieving your dreams, leaving you more insecure about yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "No one can harm you unless you allow it." This highlights the importance of your power to control how you respond to negative comments. Ask yourself, do their opinions truly reflect reality? Or are they merely a projection of their own limitations? Epictetus advises, "Do not let your mind be affected by what lies beyond your control. Focus on your goals and the actions within your power that bring you closer to your dreams." If you know that your dreams hold value and meaning, don't let negative remarks discourage you. Establish mental boundaries. Don't let negative opinions overshadow your vision. Instead, seek support from people who understand and believe in you. They will provide the positive energy you need to stay focused and motivated. Liam was a young programmer with dreams of starting his own tech company. However, every time he shared his ideas with friends, he would hear comments like, "This industry is too competitive," or "How can you succeed when big companies have already dominated the market?" Initially, these remarks made Liam doubt himself, and he wondered whether he was being overly ambitious. But by adopting the Stoic mindset, Liam realized that these opinions didn't reflect reality, they merely revealed the mental limitations of those around him. He chose to seek support from like-minded individuals and focused on improving his skills. Thanks to his determination, he launched his first product, which received positive feedback from the market. Dream killers may cause you to question yourself, but how you respond is what truly matters. Stay confident in yourself and focus on concrete actions that bring you closer to your goals. Don't let other people's limitations become barriers on your path to achieving your dreams. 8. The past anchors. The past anchors are those who constantly remind you of your mistakes, failures, or outdated versions of yourself. They keep you confined within the framework of old memories, making you feel as though you can never move forward. Their behavior often stems from a desire to maintain control or fear of your growth, as your progress may threaten their sense of stability. These individuals frequently bring up past mistakes or failures, creating the impression that you are incapable of change or progress. They might say things like, "Remember when you failed last time?" or "You don't seem like someone who can pull this off." Such reminders not only tether you to the past but also induce unnecessary feelings of guilt and shame. They often compare you to your former self, overshadowing the progress and effort you've made. This diminishes your self-confidence and leaves you feeling undeserving of new opportunities. Their attachment to your past can stifle personal growth, preventing you from exploring your potential and living a meaningful life. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The past is not yours, only the present is within your control." This reminds you that you don't have to let the past define who you are today. Ask yourself, am I living for what has already happened, or for what I can create? Epictetus advised, "Do not let what is beyond your control take control of your mind." When others try to anchor you to the past with their words or actions, recognize that this is their perspective, not the truth. You have the right to reject unhelpful reminders and focus on present actions that move you forward. Establish clear boundaries, both emotional and behavioral. Don't let these individuals drag you into a negative loop. Instead, seek support from those who believe in you and see you as the person you are striving to become. This will help you maintain confidence and stay focused on your long-term goals. Emily was a young writer who had struggled when publishing her first book. Some of her friends often reminded her of the negative reviews the book had received, making her hesitant to start a new project. However, by applying the Stoic mindset, Emily realized that those reminders were merely other people's opinions, not a reflection of her true worth. She chose to focus on improving her writing skills and sought feedback from supportive individuals. As a result, her second book achieved great success, and Emily became more confident in her creative journey. The past anchors may make you feel tied down and insecure, but how you respond is what truly matters. Stay confident in the path you're on and focus on meaningful actions. Don't let old memories or unconstructive opinions prevent you from becoming a better version of yourself. The story of Epictetus. Epictetus, a slave who endured harsh treatment for most of his life, became one of history's greatest philosophers through his Stoic mindset. Despite living in poverty, under oppression, and being treated as nothing more than a labor tool, Epictetus didn't allow his circumstances to dominate his inner peace. While he couldn't control what happened to his body, he maintained full control over how his mind reacted to every event. On one occasion, when his master beat him for unclear reasons, Epictetus calmly said, "If you want to hit me, go ahead." He didn't react with anger or emotion but chose to preserve the tranquility of his soul, refusing to let others' actions disturb his peace. The lesson from Epictetus is a powerful awakening for us all. Life is not always fair, and we cannot always control external events. However, we can control how we face and respond to them. When you refuse to let negative emotions take over and act from a place of inner calm, you discover true strength within yourself. In modern life, we often encounter situations where emotions and circumstances are beyond our control. For example, someone may lose their job unexpectedly, or another may face injustice in their workplace or personal life. Yet, as Epictetus pointed out, maintaining inner peace and not letting external events dictate your state of mind is the only way to master your life. Lessons from Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor of the Roman Empire, did not lead an easy life. He faced wars, plagues, and political struggles within the court. Yet, despite being the ruler of a vast and powerful empire, he maintained inner calm. In his book Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do your work well today, without worrying about what tomorrow may bring. He refused to let life's events disturb his mind or actions. This quote vividly reflects Stoic philosophy. While we cannot control the future, we can control our actions in the present. Imagine a day when you are overwhelmed by countless difficulties, work problems, strained relationships, or health issues. These challenges can leave you feeling drained and anxious about what lies ahead. Instead of being ruled by these worries, Marcus Aurelius reminds us to focus on what we can control, our actions in the present moment. Do what you can right now, and don't let external factors beyond your control distract you. Application in modern life. Imagine you are an entrepreneur building a company from scratch. You face countless challenges, an unstable market, fierce competitors, and the possibility of failure at any moment. In this situation, you have two choices: either let the difficulties overwhelm you and feel powerless, or learn to apply the Stoic mindset to stay calm. Focus on what you can do best, and keep moving forward. For instance, an entrepreneur might receive negative feedback from customers or have to deal with an unreliable partner. Instead of letting negative emotions take over, they control their feelings and respond rationally. How they choose to act will shape the future of their company. Only by maintaining inner peace can they make wise decisions, grow the business, and foster healthy relationships with partners and customers. Stoic philosophy teaches us that, in any situation, we always have the power to choose our response. We cannot change the events that occur in life, but we can choose how we face them. That is the greatest strength of Stoicism. Stoicism is not merely a theoretical framework, it is a practical philosophy that can be applied to every moment of life. Below are specific methods you can practice to live according to Stoic principles and protect your inner peace when facing manipulators, stressful situations, or life's challenges. 1. Distinguish between what you can and cannot control. One of the fundamental principles of Stoicism is to clearly distinguish what lies within your control and what does not. This is the essential starting point for avoiding negative emotions and unwanted situations. When facing a stressful situation, such as dealing with someone trying to manipulate your emotions or enduring criticism, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? If you cannot change the actions of others, you can change how you respond. This might simply mean choosing to remain calm and not letting negative emotions dictate your reaction. Example in daily life. Imagine working in an office environment filled with conflict and criticism. You cannot control whether your colleagues support you or hinder your work. However, you can control how you respond to criticism by staying calm and focusing solely on your tasks, without getting involved in unnecessary arguments. This way, you maintain mental peace and prevent external circumstances from disrupting your work. 2. Create a list of personal values. Stoicism encourages you to establish a clear set of personal values that will help you determine what truly matters in life and which relationships or situations are worth investing your time and energy in. These values will serve as a compass for your actions and decisions, ensuring you stay on the right path and avoid being swayed by external influences. Take time to reflect on your core values: honesty, freedom, responsibility, independence, patience, or compassion. When you have a clear list of these values, it becomes easier to identify who deserves your help and who doesn't merit your investment of time and effort. 3. Self-inquiry. Stoicism encourages a method of self-questioning, reflecting on your motives, values, and goals behind every action before making any decision, especially in emotionally charged situations. Ask yourself, will this action diminish my self-worth? This question helps you avoid reacting emotionally and instead act with clarity and reason. Self-inquiry is a continuous process that can be practiced at any time. particularly in situations where you might feel out of control or manipulated. Asking yourself this question whenever faced with a major life decision, especially when external factors or others' opinions seem to influence your choices, helps ensure that your actions remain aligned with your true values. Example: imagine you are asked to take on a task you don't genuinely want to do, but you fear that saying no might upset the other person. Before deciding, ask yourself, will doing this reduce my self-worth? If the answer is yes, then you know it's time to politely and firmly decline. Refusing is not selfish, it is a way to protect your self-respect and maintain balance in your life. 4. Practicing letting go. One of the most important aspects of Stoicism is the ability to let go of negative emotions such as anger, anxiety, or fear, emotions we cannot control. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens that causes your suffering, but how you react to it." If you cannot change a situation, letting go of the stress associated with it helps you maintain inner peace. Practicing letting go doesn't mean ignoring important issues, it means not allowing minor problems or uncontrollable factors to disturb your peace of mind. You can choose not to let an argument, a criticism, or an injustice affect your emotions and actions. In daily life, imagine encountering someone who constantly criticizes you unfairly. Instead of letting their words hurt you, practice letting go. Recognize that their criticism is not the truth and has no power to make you feel bad unless you allow it. You have the power to choose your response, and letting go of the anxiety about what they say is the key to maintaining inner freedom and continuing your forward progress. By practicing the key Stoic principles, distinguishing between what you can and cannot control, creating a list of personal values, engaging in self-inquiry, and letting go of negative emotions, you will gradually build a life that is resilient to external manipulation and stress. Remember, you can only control what you do and how you respond. Use these Stoic principles to live a life that is free, strong, and deeply meaningful, a life where you are always in control of yourself. Not everyone wants or is ready to be helped. This reflects an important truth about human psychology. Many people seek attention rather than change, often clinging to the comfort of maintaining the status quo. In such cases, your attempts to help may not only waste your time but also drain your emotional energy. Focus your time and energy on those who genuinely have the will and capacity to change. This approach not only enables real progress for them but also helps you maintain balance and inner peace. Letting go of responsibilities that do not belong to you is not selfish, it is a wise act to protect your self-worth and foster healthier relationships. Ultimately, understand this. Elevating your self-worth and protecting your energy are the foundations of a balanced and meaningful life. Help only becomes truly valuable when it is given to the right person, at the right time, and in the right way. Offer your support to those who genuinely appreciate it and are ready to change, while learning to say no to relationships that do not bring positive value. Refusing is not an act of selfishness, it is a means of preserving your inner strength, focusing on what truly matters, and creating a healthy environment for both yourself and those around you. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reflection, growth, and meaningful living. At Practical Philosophy, we believe that knowledge is not merely something to be studied, it's a tool to transform the way we live, think, and connect with the world around us. Every challenge we face offers a lesson. Every moment invites us to grow. And every relationship gives us the chance to cultivate inner strength and balance. Here, we strive to share insights rooted in timeless philosophy, applied to modern life, so you can find clarity, purpose, and peace amidst life's complexities. We are deeply grateful for your presence, support, and trust. Whether you're here to learn, reflect, or simply find a moment of calm, this space is for you. Together, let's continue to explore ideas that inspire, empower, and lead us toward a life of wisdom and fulfillment. Thank you for being part of this community. Remember, you are always in control of how you respond to life. And that is your greatest strength. Stay strong.